And particularly, we're interested in helping students choose what courses to take. We find that many students ask their peers when they choose courses, and also most students use anonymous online websites such as Reddit subreddit page or course reading microdescript instead of Khan's officer course recommended website. Therefore, we propose to add here a devising sorry, component to Kona's online course recommending website. Specifically, we consider features like asking and discussing about taking a certain class or leaving course reviews can be utilized as peer advising component. As initial step, we want to investigate which factors affect online course reviews reliable and credible. Our research questions are the following. What kinds of information about the person who provides advice can make peer advising more reliable and credible? What, how much information should the interface reveal? Uh, to answer these questions, our research proposal has three parts: interview, prototype, and survey. First of all, we want to interview undergraduate students to get detailed information regarding our research question. In the interview, we will ask demographic questions. Then there are questions about how they collect information to select a course. Questions about their use of course recommending websites, and questions about what kinds of personal information they want to know when they read the course reviews. Additionally, ideas about website design will be asked. As the second step, we developed three prototypes. Originally, we planned to reflect our findings from the interview, but thankfully we came up with a couple of variables we can manipulate. To give you an overview, the website will contain 3 pages: course with description, review, and Q&A. The screenshot of our prototype are shown below. Particularly the kind variables and functions were considered when we designed this prototype, which included showing the online status, the option to chat with the writer without revealing identity, displaying year and college, and going completely anonymous. Based on the combination of these variables, we would we would have several prototypes to test. Next, with this prototypes, we wanted to conduct a survey. The survey was designed in within subjects and routine square design because we have more than one prototype. To describe how our survey looks like, please look at the procedure. So first, participants will be asked about their background information, about what year they are and age. And in the second part, they will read the description about one, yes, computer science course, and rate how much they want to enroll in the course. And then they will explore one version of our mock-up website. And particularly, we'll guide them to read every review of the course. And lastly, they will rate the credibility of each review, and then their intention to take the course again. The part 3 will repeat the process as part 2, but with a different computer science course and another version of our system. We plan to analyze the survey data using regression models, and specifically we'll compare the credibility and the usefulness of the reviews between the types to answer our research questions about what kinds of information about
the writers, was writer with student taking selecting what courses to pick.
This is the end of our presentation. Thank you. Let me know if you have any questions.
Tool that changed multilingual speech, and it helped create a translation for it. So it was essentially born of the idea of we need to make things more accessible for people, and we need to make interaction more accessible from translating. If you can translate from going to text, that's one thing. So Google Translate does that. There are a lot of tools now that do that. But we also wanted to go speech to text, and then if you talk and then it goes straight to text and then translates over to the other language, it's a lot easier to then to if someone can talk, so they can do it while they're driving, they can do it while they're in the airport or something, they can just talk and it goes straight to text in the other person's language. Our study, so that's just a little introduction, and our study was so we weren't able to do it obviously, but we were supposed to have roughly 50 participants with groups of 2, and the groups of 2 would interact on discussion-based tasks, and those discussion-based tasks would essentially we tried to figure out if the tool was working better with text to text, or if they liked the functionality better with audio to text, and how efficient would it be to maintain that, and how efficient would it be to implement idioms and other things if audio to text worked better than text to text. And so, Frank, you want to continue? It was a within subject study.
Yeah, so specifically, like, you have two conditions, text-to-text translation and for speech-text translation. And in both conditions, the people would be given kind of like a theme to go off of to kind of like talk for a certain amount of time. So they talk about maybe like Cornell, they talk about Cornell for a few minutes, something that they have a common ground in. And then afterwards, we survey them to see which one was like more fluid for them, if they were able to communicate more effectively with text to text or with speech to text. And so that's basically the premise of the study. And there's a few pictures here of like a little, screenshots of the demo. They're kind of far away, but you can like kind of fly up to it and see a little better. Yeah, so that's basically the entire study. The app itself was implemented with several steps with UI backend. We used the Google Translate API and the Mozilla speech to text translation API. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions about this?
Yeah. So, what are your plans with this after the semester? Are you guys planning to do anything with it?
You're a little quiet, but I think I still heard you. So our plans, we don't actually know. I think it would be awesome to like make this a real application and give it out to the public. There's still a lot of work to be done if that were to be the case, but I think it's a pretty cool app, and I'm happy we got this done. And yeah, making it public after the semester ends would definitely be a possibility for us.
Okay. So I think that would be the plan because I think you are the only one can use mic in this thing. I think. But yeah, so just be ready. Yeah, I will let you come here. Okay.
We can't really hear you.
See you later.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone's talking right now. Yep, can't hear anything still.
Oh,
I can hear.
she just said she'd love to test it out.
Oh,
okay.
Sure. I can send a link out on the application to the Slack, the general Slack channel of our class. Um, Obviously, it's not like in a perfect state. There could be some bugs, it could crash, but it definitely could work for many languages. Almost like I don't even know how many, maybe like 100 or more. Um, and we've tested it with at least like 10, 20 of them with both text and text and speech text, and it works perfectly. Uh, yeah, there are a few bugs, but definitely send that in the chat. Thanks. All right.
Business goals through CMC. So our project is a HCI UX centered research. And the topic that we were interested in was providing a solution to coordinating physical activities or a gym schedule with a friend or with a group of friends. And in our proposal, we provide an experimental procedure that addresses a CMC implemented for group coordinated fitness. So under the introduction, went to Google Calendar, different messaging apps were different, or some of the currently existing methods that people use to attempt to coordinate fitness with their friends. And these were based off of our experiences and our close friends, since we were unable to do a full research project. So for our literature review, we came up with three main topics. And the first one is
I think I just mute Luke. Luca, don't play any sound. Okay.
okay. So in our literature review, we came up with three main themes, and the first one is on social motivation. So we found that the key factor behind effective motivation for exercise was more so about the social element as opposed to other gamified approaches, which led us to believe that collaboration is more important over gamified rewards. And the second is on influencing behavior. So we found that detailed planning and social exercise help to motivate users who have previously never committed to a regular exercise schedule. And for usability testing, since our project is since it is a HCI UX centered research and we were planning on making a prototype. So for usability testing, our lit review told us, after our lit review, we learned that user-specific testing is necessary in order to accurately pinpoint specific users' needs from the app. So we learned our testing should revolve entirely around the user's experience. And we came up with three hypotheses since our project is two-part. So for our first hypothesis is that we predict that users will find existing technologies inadequate for use in scheduling social fitness events. Our second hypothesis is that users will respond positively to features catered for fitness integrated into their scheduling apps. And our third hypothesis is that there is an increase in demand for social fitness as well as CMC solutions, especially due to the COVID-19 situation. And these solutions will need to cater to popular technologies such as Slack or even Zoom. So for our methodology, we came up with a two-part research project. So for our first part, we were going to conduct a user survey in order to determine what methods users currently utilize in order to schedule fitness with others, and understand users' frustrations with current solutions and discover problem areas to target with our prototype. And in order to measure, and we would also measure users' perceived levels of productivity, difficulty, and satisfaction with the current fitness scheduling tools, which we would use to compare with similar measures later on in our prototype in order to figure out how users found, how users found our prototype more or less satisfactory. So the second part would be the usability testing with our prototype that we would build based on the results from the user survey, and we would have two tasks. So the first one would be how to set up a meeting with one other person, and the second task would be how to set up a meeting for social fitness with a group of people, since we were curious whether the methods that users used in setting up fitness events um, based based on whether they were talking with one other person or with a group of people. And then after our usability testing, we would interview users' perceived levels of productivity, difficulty, and satisfaction with their prototype in order to compare and contrast with the results from the user survey on existing methods. So on the side, on the right side of our methodology is an example prototype. So we would have a visual indicator of collaborators, as well as a date and time area, so that people, since part of our prototype would be scheduling these activities, and it would have different various activities that are available for convenience, as well as equipment that people need, and what equipment like would bring, and the location. So this app would allow for comprehensive features that are related to the communication with your friends, but also since it would also allow for chatting, but it would also include all the different aspects of scheduling a fitness activity with your friends, and that would allow for easy accessibility, and also allow users to keep track of this information much more easily. So yeah, that is our presentation.
Okay, I see. Got it. Thank you.
Telling the therapist about their issues, but then we wanted to take it away from a healthcare perspective and move on to more like collaboration. So our refined idea was to determine if pre-exposure to a virtual reality environment can impact face-to-face collaboration. So this study is between subjects. So people will either use Mozilla Hubs or Zoom, and we will have 20 participants of random pairs to make sure that the pairs haven't really met each other before. And our metric is the performance of collaboration. And we believe that a virtual reality pre-meeting will induce enhanced interaction during face-to-face collaboration. So we think that Mozilla Hubs, for the icebreaker rather than Zoom, will make the pairs know each other and get more familiar with each other so that they can perform better in the collaboration task. So just some works that we looked at where the collaboration learning and immersion in virtual reality and the Proteus effect, implications of transformed digital self-representation of an online and offline behavior. There are some works that also delved into VR for a wide variety of settings, including education and also collaboration themselves. And these works also focus on maximizing the user experience, which is something that we also kind of thought about in our procedure. So for our experimental procedure, we basically have two participants randomly paired for two sets of collaborative tasks. So the first task would be that they would have icebreakers in Mozilla Hubs, which is kind of like a VR environment, to introduce the participants to each other, or they could have a Zoom call to have a pre-meeting. Before we wanted to use actual VR, but of course we couldn't because of the COVID situation, so we switched over to Mozilla Hubs. And then the second part of the procedure is that the participants would then simulate being new roommates and complete a team furniture placement task face-to-face, take around 15 minutes. And then a post-survey would be used to assess their collaboration performance to see how agreeable they were and how well the furniture was placed. So in our procedure, the icebreaker activity, we decided on we were thinking about several, but we decided on the personality guess, which is basically one participant was assigned an unknown personality, such as being funny or confident or enthusiastic, that the other participant knows. And then the participant who doesn't know what their personality is has to ask questions about that personality, and then eventually they would guess the personality. And then for our post-survey questions, we were thinking about asking, like, did the pre-discussions encourage collaboration when they were completing the furniture placement task, as well as like how agreeable were they able to like agree on where the sofa and the chair should be placed. So like for our intended results, we're thinking that like in this graph with performance on the y-axis and CMC tool on the x-axis, we're thinking that like using Mozilla Hubs would be more effective for performance over Zoom. And we were thinking this because like similar experiments show that VR kind of tends to lead to better collaboration. So yeah.
Yeah, so this is a really nice study. I like how you changed it, even though the health issues is quite interesting. I think this is also your new topic is interesting as well, and I think we don't know that much about it, right? And there's going to be a lot of people meeting in virtual worlds before they, start meeting face to face, especially going forward. So really, really nice job. I have to run to the last one because the presenter can only be here for a couple minutes more. So thank you, though, and thanks for staying and let me. Okay. Thanks.
So our main research is motivated by the curiosity of how cameras and what is presented in the screen during video conferencing can impact human behavior. So we were inspired by the fact that current video conferencing tools focus on the individual who is talking. However, we were wondering what would happen in a scenario where if we have two co-located participants sharing the same screen. So we thought this question is interesting because current research has shown that technology interventions influence various group dynamics and the human behaviors. So to talk a little bit more about our experiment setup, so there are two rooms. So room 2 that you see on the poster is where we have our two co-located participants who are sharing a camera and a screen placed in front of them to interact with our confederate in room 1. So the screen shows both the confederate and what your own camera is looking towards. And the camera is basically controlled by one of our facilitators through a Wizard of Oz method. Overall, the conversation would be about various topics about Cornell University policies because we are planning to recruit Cornell students through the SONA system. So during the conversation, the camera will be moving back and forth between the co-located participants 5 minutes at a time. In other words, the video will not be focusing on the person who is talking. So our main hypothesis is to see whether this camera behavior influence the targeting of the participants, the length they speak, and their overall behaviors, regardless of their personalities. So to talk more about our experiment details, we're planning to use within subject design, where our two conditions would be a case where the camera alternates 8 for one participant, 4 for the other. And the second condition would be 10 for one participant and 2 for the other participant. So this is the overall idea for our project. Please let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah, this is really clever. It would have been really great to see this run. I guess I'm interested in condition 1 versus condition 2, how you got these numbers.
Yeah, so this was based on a paper that we looked into, but we would definitely need to clarify. We'll make sure to clarify that in our project proposal where those numbers come from.
Yeah, so great job, and thank you so much for staying late. It's taken me longer to fly around here than I was thinking.
It's okay.
Really, really excellent job, and looking forward to seeing the final paper. And maybe if any of you are not graduating, you'll want to run this next year as independent study or something like that. So
yeah, that would be really
yeah. Okay, thanks a lot. Eric, is that all the posters?
Yeah, that's all poster.
Yay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Okay. Have a good one.